Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about The Wild Robot. And this movie came out in 2024, and it was nominated at the Oscars for Best Animated Feature Film. And it didn't win, it wound up going to Flow that year, which I personally prefer. And honestly, and I'm not unhappy with Flow winning that Oscar, but I will say it definitely deserved it over this because I just did not really get much out of this movie. I found it to be very dull, and not much about it was there for me to care about. And it all felt very safe, very familiar in terms of its presentation and plot beats. And the animation looked good. I didn't have a problem with it. And for the first half of the movie, I found it to be difficult to get into anything, and then the second half happens, and then at that point I was like, okay, I'm starting to get a little bit more interested in what we're being offered here. Even if it is very familiar, it was a bit less annoying to me than the first half. And pretty much any positive that I can think of for this movie is just in the second half, whereas first half I don't really care about anything that's going on. It's just a bunch of dumb things happening with some bad comedy, and I just didn't really like any of the characters in this movie. They were all flattened, very familiar characters that I've seen in other films that are just better than this. And this movie is directed by Chris Sanders, and he was one of the directors of Lilo and Stitch, How to Train Your Dragon, the original 2010 animated version, and he was collaborating with, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to mispronounce his name, Dean DeBoylis. I always try. I don't know. It didn't really feel like it was a film that really had much of a voice here. It just felt like I've just seen all of these things in other movies that are just better than this. And there wasn't really much style to the film. Like, there are a couple moments that were somewhat memorable to me, but they just didn't really have much consequence, and there was a song in the middle of the film that just didn't feel like it belonged there. And I did mention a flow earlier, but I do feel as though that's a good comparison, because if this movie had a lot less dialogue or had basically no dialogue, it honestly would have helped the movie out a lot, because it was just a worse version of other movies I've seen. Like, I would rather be watching Wall-E. That's a much better film, and the way things are portrayed in that movie I find to be a lot better from memory. I haven't seen it in a long time, but from memory, a lot more memorable than this. Like, I haven't seen that movie in at least 15 years, and this movie I just saw today, and I'm already forgetting it. And also, I found it to be kind of distracting that the third act just felt like the Avengers scene. And that's all I was thinking of during the climax of this movie. All that's missing is the Avengers theme, and that's about it. Nothing particularly special about this movie that made it stand out from any of the other nominations that year. It was this, Flow, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and Inside Out 2. Inside Out 2 is the only one I haven't seen, but I have not heard good things about that one, so I have no plans to watch it. But this one, out of the 4 that I've seen, and 5 of them in total, I've seen 4 out of 5 of them. Out of all of the ones I've seen, this one is easily the worst one. It was boring, it was safe, which is not terrible for all movies, but I just didn't feel as though it benefited anything in this movie, so I'll never watch it again. It was boring, and all the interesting stuff is just in the second half of the movie, and even by that point, it's like, okay, even though we got here, it's just not that memorable or great. So with all that being said, I'm going to give The Wild Robot a 4 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of The Wild Robot, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Notorious by Alfred Hitchcock. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching, and have a great day.